All right. So how's it going?
Yeah, great. I think more or less. Yeah, I've been doing lots of tasks. I uploaded some of them, all of them, and yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed about myself because I think in one of them I misunderstood a little bit the question, and it's something that I'm afraid of
Okay.
because if you don't understand correctly all the tasks basically
Mm.
you set wrongly the essay and everything is a little bit messed up but um, yeah but by the way everything else is fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Which one did you find? Which writing task did you find that happened or that you were
It
worried
was
about?
it was the last writing task 2 I uploaded. Is something like writing 1001 part 2 I think.
Okay. Let me see if I can see it.
Yeah,
Oh
the name
yeah.
is
So the one
yeah
that says in some countries the average weight
yeah.
of people. Okay. Cool.
It's because of the fact that well maybe I don't know. I did it with the task one. Like I started the stopwatch and I gave me 1 hour to do the two tests
Mm.
like the exam would be.
Okay.
So I I did the firstly I did the writing task 2, uh, and I spent more than 40 minutes. So the writing task 1 I tried to be quicker.
Mm.
By the way, the thing is that he is talking about the level of health and fitness. Um, we also in Italian say fitness, but it's more about physical activity. It's like sport. In Italian, I can say, okay, I'm doing, I don't know if in English is like that, but I'm doing like a fitness course or a fitness lesson. I'm doing fitness. So I understood fitness as something, as sport activities, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It could
But
it could include that. Yeah.
yeah, but I did a task too from IELTS Advantage.
Yeah.
I think you sent me the link.
Mm.
Yeah, because it was really similar to another one I did. It was also about health, basically. So I have the band 9 answer.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think he's when he says level of health, level of fitness is more about level of health, basically. I don't know if
Okay.
it's wrong, but maybe that's also because the answer doesn't include everything about doing sports.
Mm.
So I think I slightly misunderstood the fitness related question. Um,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would say that fitness includes things like, going to the gym, well, playing sport, jogging. That's all
so maybe
fitness.
I don't know if I say I don't know, in Italian in Italy level of fitness is decreasing. Uh,
Level of fitness. Yeah.
Maybe it sounds strange, but because it was more in the context. The question was like that, but there was a context.
Mm.
Uh, so you would say that the as in the test maybe the average weight of people is increasing, or can you say that people do less sport?
Yeah. Yeah. You could say, yeah, both would be relevant. So I would say the average weight would be more related to, well, I
Yeah.
guess it's also related to fitness as well. Um, yeah, you can like group health and fitness. They're quite similar, aren't they? Like health,
Mhm.
I guess, refers to
Because
um,
the nine band answer doesn't talk about activities, sport activities at all.
but that's kind of the way they've chosen to do it. I would argue actually fitness, they should have done that because, fitness implies, active physical activity.
If you read the question is like a level of health and fitness is decreasing.
Yeah.
So I think it's for me. I don't know. It's obvious that it's saying people do less sports.
Yeah.
If the level of fitness is decreasing, it's basically is that. So maybe okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really.
It's don't worry. You didn't misunderstand it. Like basically, there's many ways you can answer an essay. So
sure.
and there's many ways you can get a band 9, just like there's many ways you can get a band 5.
Yeah, sure.
As long as you have like relevant ideas, that's what's key. And in all honesty, if I was writing that essay, I would also write about physical activity and how much exercise people do, because that is related. That's fitness. That's how fit you are. How how much you go to the gym, how much you play sport, how much you walk. That's all related. So yeah, don't worry. You didn't misunderstand that.
Okay, great.
Cool. Yeah.
What else? No, yeah, just that I think, and maybe just a worry about the time, because I like to have the time to manage the time in order to do everything, to check everything. But I trained about that, and I'm doing these essays in a shorter time. I hope it will be enough. But
yeah. I guess just make sure that you have a plan. You know how much you're supposed to spend on planning, writing, and checking. And then the next stage where you've practiced it now and you've got in the habit of recording it. So just now it's executing, implementing in the actual exam. So when you're writing, just make sure that you're looking at the timer. I've seen a video of how they do the computer IELTS, and they basically give you a time warning in the right-hand corner.
I have lots of information because I just discovered that a friend of mine did the IELTS, computer-based IELTS yesterday.
Ah, great. So he gave you some tips.
Yeah. I just asked her how was like the computer based related a question just related to the computer, and she said she said also that it's like well done, because I was afraid sometimes these kind of computers are like old. But she said no, you have also like great software basically, because you can like in the reading you can highlight things, and so you have the timer.
You should so basically this video on YouTube, this basically shows you what it's like. So I recommend you just familiarize yourself today before the exam. Just kind of get familiar with it, because then you'll be aware of kind of what it looks like, and nothing will be a surprise for you, I guess. So yeah, I'll just upload these 2 videos for you. These are from IDP and IELTS official, so they're official accounts, and like it's how the exam looks on the screen. So that
I also talked about you to her.
Oh yeah.
I hope she doesn't contact you, because in that case it would be that she missed the score that she's trying to get.
Okay.
If she misses it, I will give her your contacts.
Sure, man. Yeah, I'm happy.
I talk about you like how you gave all these tips and all that stuff, and she said, "Wow, I think is the like the second or maybe third time that she tried the IELTS."
Yeah.
Because she has to get like 6.5 in each of the test, and every time she gets a good score. I think she's around 6.57, but in the speaking, or I don't remember, or in the writing, she doesn't get the results she wants.
That's the common difficulty for students, is they do well in other skills, but there's always usually one, and it's usually writing that's below the minimum they need to get into university. So
in that case, I feel lucky, because 5.5 is not 6.5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And your other areas, your reading and listening and speaking, are higher general level. We've seen that from previous tests. So definitely, like in medicine, they often need an 8 or an 8.5.
wow.
Yeah, sometimes even a 9 if you're going into like PhDs and
Wow.
things like that. So yeah, you're quite fortunate. It's the bar's a bit
So maybe I
lower.
will contact you in the future to get a 9.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 year before the exam.
Yeah. If you want to go into like a PhD in engineering or something. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, but yeah, I also find really useful now after doing all these tests. I'm really like confident also in writing because I have also I think one video was really helpful about the complex sentences because you sent me 2 videos. One was about basically what do they want, so the complex sentences with the connectors. Like I always write something like although blah blah comma and the other one. So all the connectors lies as a result. Consequently, so my writing gets faster and faster with those because you just you know how to connect sentences.
Definitely.
So you don't have to think about it.
Yeah. It's kind of like what I said for writing task 1. Like if you know the structure of using while, since, although, you just do it, practice again and again, it will become automatic, so that you can write complex sentences without even thinking.
Yeah.
And
so I feel it really automatic. So
awesome.
That's a really good thing, I think.
Awesome. Okay, so I had a look at some of your essays that you submitted. I went over the feedback to some of them on Saturday. And
I won't talk about COVID in my writing tasks.
Oh, you had a read of the feedback that I just
a little bit, just a couple of minutes before the lesson.
Cool. So hopefully I'll be able to look. I've got quite a busy day today with other students, but hopefully I'll be able to mark the others before tomorrow to give you some feedback on those as well. Well done for doing all the different kinds of exams. So you've done a lot of writing in the past couple of days. So yeah, well done for doing those in time conditions. So I thought we could go over briefly the causes, the cause and solutions one. Yeah, the one that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
So
the one about the crime.
Yeah, crime.
Yeah. Okay. I have it.
It's quite a classic one. So yeah, I didn't have time to complete all my notes, but I had a read of it. Okay. So basically, for this one, this is like a cause and solution one. So yeah, I thought unemployment is a good reason why crimes happen. So that's like, I thought maybe there could be more development in terms of so first of all, unemployment, that leads to people having less money, and therefore people need to support themselves by committing crimes. It's kind of like you have to just spell everything out and state the obvious for the examiner. That's kind of at university. It's kind of what they expect, just to kind of state. Although it's obvious that being unemployed, higher rates of unemployment lead to higher rates of crime. They expect you just to spell these things out for the development side of things, just to show that you understand what causes what and what affects what.
Yeah, I also think. So I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
One thing is that after I did it, I just while I was revising, I also thought, okay, that's the situation I'm describing is a little bit maybe crazy, too much, after the COVID, it seems that people just started, I don't know, shooting themselves on the street or something like that. So, I don't know, but I remember that you said to me just to think that they are checking your English, basically. So they don't think too much about your ideas.
That was for the speaking, not the writing. For the writing, they do check your ideas. So that's the big difference between the speaking and the writing.
So maybe is, I don't know. I'm understanding what you're saying. Like, I have more told more like the direct causes of the criminality.
Yeah.
And not pandemic stuff. But I don't know. Maybe if it's, I don't know if that kind of essay is unrealistic. It's not.
Yeah. So what I said here was about the, about COVID. I thought you could use that as an example to illustrate one of your points. Okay. So rather than saying like, COVID has caused the increase in crime, you can rephrase that as, high unemployment rates and people having less money, that causes an increase in crime because people don't have money to support themselves and their families. As an example, during the recent COVID pandemic, when the pandemic started, there were higher rates of unemployment and therefore there were higher rates of crime. So you could use that as an example rather than the main point, I think.
Okay.
Because the question is kind of asking for the main causes in general. And, crime existed and crime was increasing before the pandemic as well. Well, crime existed before the pandemic.
I know. Yeah. Sure.
So rather than, do you know what I mean? So you could just rephrase that and use it as an example, I thought. And the example would be good because it's relevant and current and yeah.
So also the solution, because I say the solution is, I don't remember something about, make taxes more affordable. But I know that it's more complex than that. So if I don't know, in Italy, I'm talking to a friend, and a friend of mine says, just make taxes lower.
Yeah.
I say, okay, you're making too simple. The reality is not just, let's make taxes lower.
Yeah.
I have time and I have to just grab an idea that is not something crazy and improbable.
Yeah.
Not probable. But I don't know, it's reasonable, but it's very simple. And it's very, I don't know, sorry, maybe I'm not too sure if it's I don't know, enough.
Yeah. I think it is a good solution. I mean, what I said here was my argument about taxes was, so if you're unemployed, you don't pay taxes because you're not earning money.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean? So because you don't have a job, so you're not earning. So I thought, what would be? I see your point in that you could maybe argue in terms of taxes, maybe that people's families, if there were lower taxes, right? You could say the families within which they come from. So maybe other people who have jobs, they would have more disposable income to spend.
Yeah, maybe what I wanted to say here, but maybe it's not too clear, is that if you pay less taxes, you don't lose job, basically. Because and so you are not unemployed, and so you are not you don't have to commit crimes and.
Okay, so why would you keep the job if the taxes were lower?
I don't know, if I have a restaurant, I pay some taxes, so I have less income.
I understand.
But I don't have to pay lots of taxes.
So you're talking about
some kind of thing, because we pay lots of taxes.
I see. So you're talking about small business owners rather than people employed by companies.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. That makes sense.
Also companies, I don't know, because maybe if a company has to pay lots of taxes and that stuff. So maybe if they have less taxes, they don't have to fire people.
Definitely. Yeah. I just think you need to spell that out. Yeah, like what you just told me. You could like that. You could do that again in your example. You could say, for example, small business owners in Italy, if they reduced business rates or business taxes, they would be able to retain more staff, and therefore less people would get involved in crime.
So basically, I can use the example, the detail part of the paragraph to make it clear.
Also, I think some development in the point. For example, rather than just saying, decrease taxes equals reducing crime, just make sure your development spells that out. So you could say, for example, one possible solution to this, to this cause would be a reduction in business rate taxes. You could say this would support small businesses by da 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 da. Therefore, these businesses would not have to, let their staff go, and therefore these people would not resort to crime. So it's just like going from one to the other, making sure all of your conclusions, your statements are logically developed. What I always say, like state the obvious, because they basically in these essays they want to see how you go from A to B. So rather than just saying like reduction taxes equals less crime, they want you to say, okay, reduction taxes equals more income for the small businesses, which equals more retention in staff, which equals less people, getting involved in crime. Okay. So yeah, the idea was good. It just needed more development, I think.
Okay.
I also thought another good point here would also be something like, another potential solution would be something like free training or education or apprenticeships. Because like this is something I've noticed. When people are unemployed and have nothing to do and get involved in gangs and crimes, if they have free education, they have like an option, or like youth centers, apprenticeships, free university, that gives them training, or maybe apprenticeships or internships in companies for free, and then they have an option, and that kind of keeps people away from committing crimes. People don't commit as many crimes because they have the option of education and training and work. I thought that would be also a good solution there. Okay, so a quick thing that I noticed was here, you in the introduction you mentioned the governments are trying to find a quick solution, but in the question they ask, how can we deal with those causes? So like here, they kind of want you to give your opinion. So for this part, I would say something like, instead of saying governments are trying to find a quick solution, like decreasing taxes, you could say, as far as I'm concerned, or in my opinion, the best solution to this is da 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 da. Okay. So phrase it from your perspective, because that's what they want. Because like if they were going to ask that question, they say, how can governments deal with those causes? But they want like your opinion.
Okay. And is it correct to answer? I know, I have to add in my opinion, to highlight that is my opinion, okay? Yeah. But the answer now I'm seeing the answer is about governments. Yeah. Can we say that the we of the question?
How can we
because how can we deal with those causes? It's like I don't know what we can mean, because I'm not the government, If we is like the normal people, maybe I'm just thinking about it.
I would generally avoid using like I mean, I think it would be fine just to say, I think. I mean, you could use we. I think that would be fine, but I mean, you don't need to. You could say, for example, in my opinion, governments, da 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 da, and then you could say governments. Government should da 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 da.
Okay.
In my opinion, governments should decrease taxes there.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. By we they mean the collective. Like, I don't know, just yeah. We is in everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Cool. All right. So I thought your use of connectors was very nice here. I noticed a nice variety. You use like although, as a result, as an example. So very nice range of connectors there. For instance, consequently, so very good. But it helped your essay read smoothly. Read well. So also, I liked your use of referencing, which makes the essay overall more cohesive. So examples were one of the possible solutions, just I need to add in the S there, in this difficult time. Where did you say that? Yeah, you said that, yeah, here, next. In this difficult situation, yeah. So that they were nice examples of referencing, referring back. And, that is part of the criteria for cohesion and coherence. So that was coherence and cohesion, sorry. That was, very impressive. So areas to improve. So I think the second paragraph was mainly about like COVID, but it didn't really mention directly the cause of crime so much. So this one, I just think you could have improved it by following the PEE more closely. So you mentioned, although we are understanding how to deal with COVID, another big issue came as a consequence of the increased number of crimes. The pandemic constricted countries to lockdowns and other interventions. So this was mainly about how to avoid the virus spreading rather than crime. So I thought maybe you could use the pandemic as an example to illustrate something there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think just in the planning stage, just check you're using like the PEE for all the paragraphs and that you're making sure you're answering the question in every paragraph.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that maybe avoiding to use the COVID as our main cause, that is also slightly wrong. As you said, it's better if I talk more about the direct causes than the COVID. I will avoid also to spend too much time, basically, because if there are like 2-3 sentences just about the COVID, and if I use the COVID as an example, I can be more I can write something more focused on the causes, and also maybe save some time, because I think these are more than 250 words, and so I could also write less. I wrote that much just because I start writing and I try to answer to all the questions, including my opinion. But
yeah.
If I stay more focused, maybe I also write faster because I write less, basically.
Yeah. And you kind of you be more precise, less
Right,
descriptive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm noticing here, maybe because you say as a result here, so this is kind of PE, but maybe this needs to join there to this paragraph.
Yeah.
And then and then this, like, sometimes you had like a line break, so this would be like a new paragraph. So just when you're revising, just make sure that you connect all the paragraphs like that. Like and here as well, So this, because you've had a line break here, this is like a new paragraph. So that would, affect your cohesion and coherence. So just make sure it's all one paragraph.
Okay. Like so I don't have to be afraid that a paragraph is too long. I don't have to separate the paragraph because they see it like different paragraph. If I
if there's a line break like that, that looks like a different paragraph. So that would count as a different paragraph, and that would mark against you because they'd be like, okay, this isn't a paragraph. It shouldn't, this should be connected to that.
Okay. That's very good to know. Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed that in a few previous writings. So just in the revision stage, just check that there's no like single line breaks.
Yeah.
And just press delete to make it a paragraph. Because one of the key criteria for cohesion and coherence is can use paragraphs appropriately. So yeah, and I think your use of paragraphing generally is very good. I think you use
I didn't
very
mean
well.
to break the paragraph. It's just something that I did. But now it's clear. I will avoid to do it. Yeah.
Cool. And now actually I read this, it makes more sense. Now that I see it's actually one paragraph, because here's the PE. But before I didn't realize that because it was two.
Okay.
Yeah. What else did I say? Okay, so yeah, line break. Okay. Yeah, lexical resource I thought was quite good. You use a good range, so constricted a lot of countries. Restricted, trend. So you use kind of less common lexical items, as they say. I thought the range was pretty good there. Any other concerns about this one? I'll finish my notes a little bit later and give you some.
No, everything clear. Really, really good good tips. I have to remember most of all the paragraph breaks because it's something that I don't mean to do. Like I don't want to. Yeah, I set the PE and I destroy it just doing the breaks and I don't have to do it.
Yeah, and that can be. You remember I said make a revision checklist for your when you check.
Yeah, I did it. I'm adding also that. Yeah. Sure.
Awesome. Yeah, just put that on. So, what's your revision checklist like? Do you want to go through that?
Well, I wrote it somewhere here. If you want, I also will send you my famous Word file with all the connectors divided from task and.
Oh yeah, sure. That would be maybe helpful for some other students as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I put there all the references you sent me.
Awesome. So okay. I noticed you also did a task 1, but from the general. You did the letter.
Yeah.
So that's from the IELTS general. So that's like there's general and academic.
Okay. So yeah, because I saw the letter and I say, well, I never did it, but okay, that's the reason.
Yeah. So that's what they have to do in the general. A lot of people find it easier than the task 1 with the graphs and everything.
Yeah.
That's because basically the academic is more. That's why it's all like data and statistics is to like for those, for engineering and maths, and that's why they use the letter for the general because general is more like immigration purposes and.
Okay, I understand.
Like
yeah, it was also pretty quick to write the letter, so now I am understanding why. So yeah, my revising checklist is to check if I explicitly answer to all the points. So basically also the development. I have to check the use of preposition, like in, on, at, something like, for example, I saw that in my previous writing I wrote in the other ends instead of on the other end.
Sure. Yep.
Something like that. Then checking if I'm using too much the impersonal I and you.
Yep.
And awesome. Like the for like it's we're and not it is we are. Coherent development, like meta statement, and then explain an example, and everything is coherent. The tense, like the past actions that continues in the present, I have to use is it past perfect? The name of the tense, like
past perfect is like I had travelled, I had been. That's the past perfect. Present perfect is I have played. Have. Yeah, maybe the present perfect. You mean the present perfect is like when something happens in the past still affects the present.
Yeah, cool. So it's like have in the present form, and then the past perfect.
Yeah, like just have. Yeah, like I have, you have, we have, they have, plus the past participle.
Participle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is okay. And what's the name of the tense?
That's the present perfect.
Present perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Because I know the tense, but I get like confused by the names because I don't remember.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then tenses in general, and then like common spelling errors, but just writing them, I started like writing them correctly, like although or achieve. Lots of time I wrote archive with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will add the I think we said like checking the paragraph, the breaks.
Awesome. Yeah, really thorough, in-depth list. Yeah, I think that's really good. Yeah, a good checklist. Very thorough. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I think you've covered most areas we've gone over really in that. Maybe just you could check connectors as well. Check like the consequence. Like just make sure your connectors are working. Like have the appropriate function. Yeah, I mean, I think you've maybe just check the punctuation. I'm not sure if you said that. Punctuation?
Not punctuation.
Sometimes I've noticed that you use like a colon, like the 2 dots, whereas not always appropriate. So maybe just revise that, the use of the colon. Generally, I would avoid it, in the IELTS writing.
Maybe also the what's the name, brackets.
Brackets, yeah, and sometimes you use the apostrophes. Apostrophe. The quotation marks.
Okay.
Quotation
it's better
marks.
to avoid.
Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. Like for writing task 1, sometimes you have the little quotation marks. So yeah, maybe just add in the punctuation. Also check like sentences as well. Like check how long your sentences are. Make sure that you break up 2 long sentences with a full stop. I think that's, also check that as well. Obviously many things, I think also prioritize as well, because, you only have like 3-4 minutes. So what I do is do like top, like 4 things to check based on previous feedback. What are your main areas to check? And then